We're friends, right? Like good friends. I've been around your house for years. I'm hanging out with your cats, you and me. Your cats trust me. I hope you do as well. So we can be straight with each other. I don't care what you call it. That thing that we use with our cats, call it motivation, bait, or just a give to get, a little bit of temptation. What else?
Positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement. That's a big one. Positive reinforcement. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? It's all about giving them what they want to do what we want. Jackpot treats are the way to go. Something that they will be like, I must have it. I want to thank our sponsor, speaking of jackpot treats, of this video, Inaba Churu. These treats are jackpot for so many cats. I mean, you'll find a flavor for them, and the great people over at Inaba are making this video possible. Thank you, Inaba. And don't forget, while you're out there getting your jackpot treats, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment on this. You know that makes the channel tick just as much as Inaba does. So, let's get on with it. So it doesn't matter who we're talking about, dog, cat, human, hedgehog, giraffe, it doesn't matter. It's finding what does motivate them. Food motivation is a primary motivating factor. If we take a look at how we clicker train animals as we do positive reinforcement, we are positively reinforcing an action by saying, thank you, I like that action a lot. You know? So in clicker training, the dog or the cat or whomever does an action, we click to say good work, we then treat in order to say, this is what you get for the good work. That's it. And we do it consistently every time. If you find that jackpot treat motivation, then you will get results. It works to get cats who may not trust you to trust you, or not to trust a specific situation. Things like getting into a carrier, which cats may associate with bad things, or getting nail trims, giving medication, or just doing some tricks, whatever those tricks could be. Anything that we want cats to do. And one of the best ways that I have found to use something like treat motivation is for scared cats. Our wallflowers need to know that there's something more powerful than the allure of staying small and safe in order to get something done. And that thing, if we find that jackpot for them, it goes a long way. As long as at the end of that, we can say, see, you can do this 100 times and 100 times over, this is all that's gonna happen. Good treat, safety, all is good. So we've talked about conquering fear. Now, we're going to talk about the classic place where it tends to get used, and that's through training, through operant conditioning.
Clicker is not like a remote control. We're not using it to control the cat, to ask them to do something. We're using it to tell them, click, you did something right. So you want to think of this not as a remote control, but as a camera. That's what you want to think of this as a remote camera clicker. And you're watching your cat, and the second that they do something that you like, you click and you capture the exact moment you like. That's why we use the clicker, for precision. Every time you click, a reward follows.
So if you think about, you know, easy tricks like the high five, which when you're learning clicker training, that's one of the first things that you could learn, or have your cats learn. Hopefully you know how to do a high five, and you don't need a treat to do it. But for your cats to do it, all you're trying to do is get a paw up in the air, they give you that five, that's it. And that can be done so quickly. And all we're doing with clicker training and food is we're breaking it down into tiny steps. So if the first thing is we're trying to get your cat to just touch something, it doesn't have to be your hand, it can be a target stick. We do that, touch, click, treat, touch, click, treat. We do that very fast so that I do this, I hear the thing that says good job, I get the good job jackpot, and that's it. And it's really important to do it consistently. Remember, your cats will only have an attention span of like 2 seconds. Once you wait longer than that, they're getting treats and they have absolutely no idea why they're getting it whatsoever. So you want to tie it to that action right away. Now, this is great for, like I said, tricks like just a sit, a spin, a little high five, fun things like that. But you can also use it for things things that you don't like when your cats are on the counter. Getting them to jump off the counter and get that click for it is really good. Now, in the long run, you don't want them getting on the counter in the first place so that you're training them to do something, because they're also getting that positive reinforcement. Why? They're on the counter and they get food, or the promise of food is there. So we do want to be working, as I'm saying, with all these other things, about how do we give a no for the yes, so that we're not setting them up for failure by getting on the counter in the first place. And that means, of course, not having food on the counter all the time. Your cats are motivated to be up there for one of two reasons, or both. One is there's always food up there. Secondly, there's so much action going on in the kitchen, they just want to be a part of it, and they want to be a part of it from a height. So what's the cure for that one? How do we get that going regardless? It's great to have a scratcher, a cat tree. Have that in the general area of where the kitchen is, so they're at that height. They can watch to see what you're doing. You're rewarding them for being on that thing. That's it. That's all you need. 3 seconds and a treat. 4 seconds and a treat. 19 seconds, treat. Go on back again. We're just throwing as many curveballs as we can up to your cat to make sure they're still understanding that this is what we want them to do. We do the treat and potentially a click, and your cat gets it. As long as you do the no as well as the yes, that should give you your answer. Clicker training, operant conditioning with cats, especially based on treats and those treats availability. The carrier has become sort of a tainted place in a way, because for the most part, the only time you take your cat and put them in a carrier is what? When they're going to the vet. Now, ideally, I wouldn't want that for you. I would love for the carrier to be that safe place, to be a place that they would naturally go anyway. If your cat is really petrified about getting into the carrier, the best thing that you can do is take the top off it. Just put their favorite type of cushy bed in there and take the top and door off it. Almost every carrier has that feature. Then we can get to the jackpot after that. When you're getting your cat to just cross that threshold, sometimes it's just the look of even the bottom of it that's not letting them go. It's fine. If you're withholding jackpot until they're in there, you put it in there and you wait. And they will go in there. As long as it's jackpotty enough, they're going to go in there. And once they start eating predictably, and that's the real key. I want every step along the way here to be predictable outcome. So you get it not just once, you get it not just twice, but every time you put that treat in there, you know that your cat's going to go in there. Don't forget, another key is when they're hungry. Find the flavor of the jackpot that is the best for your cat. I want that thing that the second they smell it, they're like, woo! That's mine. I tend to use the True treats because there's so many flavors and the texture is right, and I can give them just a little bit at a time. I will start, usually, here's my big trick. I want to go simple. So this is the chicken, this is the tuna. They're the simple flavors, and then you can break out into different places. But if they're motivated by the sort of that poultry taste versus that fishy taste, that's the place where you start. I know you've heard me say this a bazillion times. I'll say it a bazillion and one. Stop free feeding your cats. Break your cats down to meal times. And again, I've said this, I don't care if you have 3 meals a day, 4 meals a day, doesn't matter. If there's treat time by itself, and this counts. What we're doing here counts as getting food, because by the time you're done doing some training with them, they're going to be full. If you don't and you're free feeding, then what's going to happen is they're just going to be that much closer to full to begin with, and that's the problem. So how many times have I said play with your cat? Play with your cat. Play with your cat. Play with your cat. Say it. 100 times. A day sometimes. I know, it makes me a great party guest, honestly. When it comes to play, treats are great. When we talk about hunt, catch, kill, eat, if the cats are doing interactive play, chasing something around, you want to be able to cap the experience by saying, this is exactly right, this is what we do, bang, there's jackpot right there. A lot of times I'll say feed a meal afterwards, but I still like that idea of just a real period on the sentence. And that's the thing, that a couple of licks of the churro really puts that fine point on, you just finished, here you go. You know, you don't have to present a whole bowl of food at that one time. You ever hear me talk about the vertical agility course? I know that sounds really fancy. Leading your cats around shelving and, you know, getting them around their cat's superhighway from a chair to a couch to in the window, up to the top of the bookcase, down their cat tree, that whole thing. This is where it comes in handy because we don't give them that opportunity to focus on anything else in the room. They're following. It's the old, you know, carrot and a stick type of thing, except it's, you know, tuna on a stick. And all we're doing is leading them up and down. We're trying to create a feeling of fluidity going from one place to the next. And that works for agility as much as it does if you're just getting your cat to try to explore different places on the vertical axis to see, listen, once you get there, you may be totally confident and like, whoo, this is just something else. I am the Lion King, you know, but you won't know until you get there. Following something like a jackpot gets you there. And then once they're there, we just repeat, just like I was talking about with the carrier. In, out, up, down, up, around, you know, try to get it going. Now, the other thing that you can do when we're doing the agility is you string together each event as if it were its own trick. For instance, if you're just trying to get your cat to jump up on the arm of the chair to start, then we just keep doing that one over and over again. He's up, he's down. We get him up, we get him down. Now we're going to move on to whatever the next stop is along the vertical agility course. And you can also, of course, use the floor. It's a nice break between just interactive play. It's still interactive, which means that you and your cat are interacting. I know I say this too, but that's because lots of toys advertise themselves as interactive when it's just flicking a switch. Oh, my cat is interacting with electricity. You know, it's not exactly interactive. This, leading your cat around, doing whatever you're doing in order for them to get that prize and get some exercise, that's enrichment. Whether we're talking about vertical agility course, interactive play, getting them into the window so they can watch cat TV, whatever it is, that targeted reward is the thing that will start that process going. Because cats, let me tell you, anytime, you know that whole dog squirrel thing? Cats are just as bad as dogs. They're just going to be looking everywhere. And this way, they're focused on one thing. And then there's this. It's, you know, we've talked about your cat being wary of something like the carrier. We've talked about encouraging them to exercise and up and down and all around, you know, with treats. Now we're talking about the things that you hate to do. And very specifically, that usually boils down to trimming nails and giving medication. Those things we have to try to create positive associations around because we have so much stress around it, or a lot of us do. The suggestion for videos that I always get, how do I trim my cat's nails? How do I give them medication? Variations on that stuff that particularly becomes thorny between us and our cats. Reward helps get you there, you know? And if that means giving reward after the completion of a single nail, that's what it is. Because again, and especially with treats like Churu, whoop, one lick. Great, let's move on. They're looking for the next lick. That's that motivation. I want more of it. I'm not filling up on anything. I want more of it. Clip. Oh, okay. I'll do it again. All we're trying to do is distract them from the moment so that you can get the work done. Now, on your side, you want to create some fluidity to your movement because I think the thing that makes it harder, our cats are energetic sponges. They pick up all of the vibes we're putting out. And if our vibe is, oh, God, I don't want to trim his nails. Oh, God, I don't want to have to give him medication. Then as we come up to them, there's this, they're like, what's going on, you know? But if we approach with treat, a lick before we start, a lick to get them into position, this works. Once they finally get there, once it's totally done, once you've trimmed all the nails, once you've given the medication and we got nothing left to worry about in terms of getting anything from them, you can take that whole Churu or crumble up all the rest of your treats, put it on a dish, give it to them. Good job. Here's the bigger treat, you know? You know, I hope you're not disappointed in me. I hope you're not just like, I thought there was more to it than just like dishing out treats. Sorry. There's plenty more. There's plenty more, and you learn all about it on this channel. Almost everything I teach you, from introducing cats to encouraging play to helping out wallflowers, helping out Napoleons, all of that stuff, adjusting to a new home, adjusting to base camp. We want to make sure that they experience this pleasure the same way every time, you know? And as much as they want their churro, then you can want them to be a better cat and you can get them there. Not better in the obedient way, better in the mojo way. That's it. I'm just taking you to the other side of this challenge line, Mojo Central. And that's what we're all about here. Once again, a shout out to my friends at Churro for sponsoring this and all of Inaba Treats. Very, very happy to have these guys part of our family. Also, again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below. Anything that you got that you use food for in order to get the best out of your cat, let us know. We all want to know about that. And if you like this video, right after I say Light, Love, and Mojo, then you can watch this one, Light, Love, and Mojo.
Meow.